think we're programmed to think of life in certain terms. And we often get asked along the way if we're on the right track. And I think that there's a certain linear type of thinking that goes with the one track sort of scenario of life. Because in reality, if you think of even a train, it actually needs two rails to have forward momentum. So being on a track doesn't even mean having one straight line to get somewhere. I've kind of always thought that my track was more like the interchange where all the trains go in different directions, because I don't think of myself as having a life that's just on a straight line. And I think that we are programmed to think that if we're not on a certain path or a certain track, or that we can't monetize our efforts, that maybe we're doing something wrong. But the more I spend time out in the world and meet people with different perspectives, I realize that there's a lot of different ways to enjoy life, and there's a lot more about being happy and fulfilled than being on a certain track. One time I was in the Dominican Republic, and I was meeting with a family, and the father was climbing a tree and pulling bananas down out of the tree and showing us their home and introducing us to the family. And they were so very happy and full of joy and pride. And I really appreciated the fact that they just had a very close-knit family and a lot of joy that was obvious. And I think that we often think that if we have more of something, that will give us more fulfillment. But there's a lot of different things that can bring us that kind of satisfaction and happiness in life. For me personally, with my primary work, I work in the entertainment business, and I think it really is a fundamental experience for people to have the arts and entertainment in their life, because it gives us a reprieve and a connection to our own spirit. But right now, my industry isn't functioning, so I'm unable to do my primary work. But what most people don't know is that I've spent almost as much time on a parallel track, which is nurturing my writing and creative side. And this is something that I'm not monetizing, and that isn't really going to gain me a lot of accolades, but I've put a lot of effort into it because it's important to me, and it was something from my spirit. And I've asked myself these fundamental questions about I am statements. And when I ask myself what I am, I can say I am a writer. And I know that about myself, so I'm pursuing that as something that's important to me from the inside and out. There's also things that I'm good at and things that I enjoy, but those are different kinds of statements than I am statements. So for me, I definitely feel proud of myself for putting time into something that brings me not only happiness, but that at this time when my other primary business and work efforts have taken a pause, that I have something else to put my attention towards, and that gives me fulfillment and opportunity to explore that side a little bit more. But I also think that it's dangerous to look at life all the same way. It's actually the people that we encounter along the way, and the more experiences in other parts of the world and with different kinds of people from different perspectives, different ages, different backgrounds, that allows us to grow and have a perspective about life or a worldview. And I think that, maybe I'm riding a unicycle and somebody else is on a tandem bike, or your track is a train track and mine's a roller coaster. There's really no right and wrong way to get through life, but I think that we have to be more than a one-track pony if we're going to, be able to handle the ups and downs and the curves in the road and the forks in the road that come our way. There's no perfect way to get somewhere, and there could be a U-turn or a roadblock that, stops us in that track. So I think it's important to think about those I am statements. Who am I at my core, and fundamentally, what makes me happy? What brings me fulfillment? What gives me true satisfaction and allows me to fulfill my purpose? And I think it's important to think about those things. I don't think we often do, but we have to, look at what our track and our path is, and there's always room for a course correction or an opportunity to explore a new road. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will look forward to seeing you again next time.